Hello, everyone. It's me, Mr. AKI and Doctor Eggman here, back with part 3 of the Mascot Mania breakdown show. And without further ado, this is the point actually where we got to last time, and we were feeling a bit dead, but we're not feeling dead today. No, we're not. Okay, is that just what you're going to say on that front? Yep. Okay. Keep it short and sweet, I guess. That's what I do. Right. Okay. So in this part, we'll be covering all of the. So we've done the interpromotional matches featuring both Raw and Smashdown, and that was on part 1. If you haven't checked it out yet, it will be up now. So go and check it out. And also, yesterday we did part 2, which covered all of the Raw matches. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. Um, I've just drunk something, so I'm trying to hide a burp there. Whoa, that I'm gonna edit that out. Oh dear, that was big. All right, well, so much for trying to hide a burp. But I can cut it out. So you didn't hear anything. Um, so yeah, so in this part, the third and final part of this breakdown show, we'll be covering all of the Smashdown matches. We got 4 matches to cover, so not as long as last time. With 5 matches. We almost hit an hour with that one, so we haven't been doing too bad. So this should go just as well. So stick with us, and we're going to break down everything from all the 4 Raw matchups. We've got the 6-person tag with the Retro Warriors and Billy taking on Peach's Cabinet and Sonya. We've also got the Fatal 4-Way Hardcore Championship match featuring Link, Nightmare, Grim, and the Cyrus Robot. We also have the Tag Team Championship matches inside a 15-foot high steel cage. Dimension X defends against the new Simpson clan of Homer and Bart. Father and son teaming up there. And of course, the biggest, most anticipated match of the entire event, and without a doubt, is going to be Manic versus Tails 1-on-1. No outside interference from anyone, and it's basically for the YouTube Championship as well as their factions, the Anti-Heroes and the Freedom Movement, and their careers are on the line. But that will be coming up shortly. But right now, let's move on first into the 6-person tag team match. The Retro Warriors and Billy to take on Peach's Cabinet and Sonya, who was revealed to be the anti-hero's spy. Yes, she was, yes. You have some factors to point out, and then I will proceed with the analysis of how I think things are going to play out. And also, I trust you have the comments up of who people's predictions. Yes, I do. So, with that being said, someone else made some predictions, actually. I think somewhere. Sorry, bear with me. I've lost it all. It's a big, long list of stuff here. We've got some questions for Ask the Roster. So that'll be happening in a couple of weeks' time for those who want to know. So that'll be done in 2 weeks' time, and I'll be answering all the questions asked, and you can leave them on a video. You can leave them on this one if you want. If you have any more questions to ask, if we inspire you to ask any questions about the event or just in general about any competitor on the ASF, make it ASF associated though, because yeah, but because that's kind of what I do. I can't answer questions outside of the universe in a sense, so I can't do that. Yeah, someone else gave some predictions. They're a little bit late, but we can look back at those. They predicted. This is all for the interpromotional matches. By the looks of it, someone predicted Kana to win over Cyrus. They also predicted Lisa or Takal to win. To win the women's championship, and Astroff to pin Chaos. Yeah, well, you never know. I'd love to talk about him, but this isn't the right one to talk about. So yeah. But hey, thank you for contributing your thoughts. You know, it's always nice to know what the fan base's direction is going in. so then we can talk about the actual event even. So that's very helpful and very useful, something for us to talk about when that comes up. So thank you very much for that. Yes, indeed. Going back. So yes, the six-person tag team match. The point is to point out here is so Wario and Bomberman both set out right from the get-go. They started to get word around that there was a spy working for the anti-heroes, like behind the scenes, and getting them to try and help the anti-heroes or indeed join them. And that's all the majority of the females started being a bit screwy, and so obviously it all led down eventually to Wario and Bulma finding out that Sonya was indeed the spy. And it does all make sense on that front too. I mean, I'm not going to falter that prediction on that because Sonya hasn't been in a lot of action, and she's part of the freedom movement, and they haven't been doing much with her. She's kind of been in the not particularly in the spotlight, so she has all the ammunition and all the motivation to join or at least help the anti-heroes. Persuade other people in the locker room, namely the female locker room, to start going screwy and screwing over Raw and screwing over the freedom movement. And then she had to make a big mistake of coming out to help Tails in one of his matches in one of those 3 stages of hell deciders. We'll be talking about that a bit later. But of course she came out and interfered and cost, I believe it was Bomberman, Tails was facing the match, and therefore the stipulation for the second fall, I believe. That was all the ammunition that Wario needed to say, we found our target, it's Sonya. Yeah. Yes, it was revealed that Sonya is the anti-hero spy, and the best way, the way they actually they wanted shall we say, a prevention of Sonya preventing the next main event to occur. That was actually her own brother, Manic, participating in that match against Nightmare, I believe. Billy, this is how Billy has got involved in this mess, is he decided, or Wario decided, I'm not exactly sure whose idea it was, but it was one of those two, surely. I mean, it certainly wasn't my idea. Yeah, sure it wasn't. But it was... Oh, you got me. You got me. You got me. Good. My day's work is done. So Billy comes out dressed in Sonya's clothing. He stole them from her locker room, and amazingly enough, they fit and look pretty good. Well, whatever floats your boat. Oh, I don't know. I'm not saying that. Fuck off. No, that's not what I. That's not what I meant. Sure, it didn't. Okay. No. So Billy got involved. That's how he got involved, and so Sonya, if she was going to get involved, would. Well, I don't know how much Billy actually put on himself. I mean, one dreads to think. One does dread to think, unless you're you. Shut up. Stop doing that. But it was a very funny moment and a very humorous moment, and yeah, it's one that will be in my memory, certainly. Of course it will. Shut up. God, you're never going to live that down now. I'm not. God dang it. So, of course, so I've got a feeling that, if anything, Sonya's going to be gunning for Billy, because that's a big insult, and made Sonya, well, and Billy in a sense, but I don't think he minds being the laughing stock, because who knows what Sonya was doing for a change of clothes, so we say. Once again, let's not go there. Yeah, let's not go there. But yeah, so let's take a look at all the talent in this match. Obviously, I think people are going to be slightly confused by the rules. We have said them, but they're kind of a bit confusing, so I just want to get that out of the way. Specifically, It's going to be a 6-person tag, but as we know, the game, as breaking the fourth wall here, the game that I'm using can't have 6 people in the ring. So what we're going to do is there's going to be 2 members of each team in the ring. There's going to be tags involved, obviously, but it's going to be a process of if one person gets a pinfall, then they will be replaced by the other person on that team. And then whoever gets the pinfall out of that, those 2 combinations, then they will win. So it's a 2-fall match where 2 of the participants have to get a pin in order for a victory to be obtained. So we will have to see when it comes to the order. Who do you think is going to be starting off the match? Well, as a starting point, I would say most probably the should we say the anti-hero side, I think that we'll best call it that, is going to be Peach's cabinet. They're going to protect the spy, that's for sure. They're gonna prevent, because Sonya, I think maybe her emotions will run a bit wild and maybe cost them the match because of that, because Sonya isn't going to be focused. Like you said, there's a chance that she might just go straight for Billy for humiliating her in a sense. And for wearing her, oh, let's not go there. Like I said, just stop it. Yeah, good move. So that's going to be a definite. I believe, because if Peach's cabinet, I've always said if Dimension X weren't tag team champions, they would be the tag team champions of the anti-heroes, because they are talented. I mean, Rouge is very impressive. She knows how to kick people, that's for sure. And Samus is definitely a go-getter. I mean, it's hard to keep her down. She's got great stamina and great ability. So those 2 were great as a tag team and always have and always will. So yeah, so those 2 are going to be entering for that team. And for the other side, I don't know. Maybe obviously the tag teams will be starting off first because they're the tag teams. But then again, you want to have the advantage at the end, because what you could do is you could have the non-tag team enter, so they could have Sonya and, I don't know, Rouge. And then for the other side, you could have Billy and, say, Bomberman. And then you wear down the team, and then you bring in the actual tag team, and then they work as a unit. And you've got the advantage at the end, after you've got the first pinfall. If you do get a pinfall, then you've got the advantage. So I don't know, because it's hard to predict who's going to come out first. So that obviously they will be under the decision of that. So we'll have to see who does what strategy on that front. But I would recommend the tag teams do come out first, and then Billy and Sonya would be the replacement for whoever got a victory, because then you only have to get 1 victory, and then the other team has to still get 2. So it has to be a clean sweep almost. But we will see the strategy going into that match, which members of the teams will be starting off out of the 2 out of the 3 that will be entering. So yeah, it all comes down to that. All right. So let's have a look at the who is going to win according to Worms. We've got I'm trying to look for him now. Here we are. He thinks the Retro Warriors and Billy are going to pull this one off. Well, yeah, I'm going to go with them, because look at that team for starters. I wasn't going to point this out, so I thank him for bringing that to my awareness. Is because hey, we've got an uncrowned champion in Bomberman. He went toe to toe with Knuckles and come out and survived somehow. And he's also been having some incredible matches before and after that match. He's starting to make a name for himself here. So he's definitely going to be one of the stronger competitors in that team, because he's got that I've been in this big match type situation before. So I'm no doubt going to be trying to do my best in this one to help the freedom movement. Because he's definitely a freedom movement member, true and true. So yeah, and also Wario. I mean, he's a former hardcore champion, and it takes a lot of toughness to be a hardcore champion, as we know. We've had some very tough people being hardcore champion, and Wario is one of So he's a tough competitor, and he knows how to bring the hurt, so to speak. This isn't a hardcore match necessarily, but Wario can still. He's got a lot of high impact moves, and he can definitely be impressive in this match. Yeah, and don't forget that the Retro Warriors actually got into the finals of the, I believe, of the Tag Team Gold Rush tournament. So that can't be too bad. No, without a doubt. I definitely they're a force to be reckoned with, for sure. So with that being said, what about Billy? Well, as much as we like to laugh at him, it works. Because sometimes he can be focused, sometimes he does get a little bit angry, and then suddenly he's all over you, and he can be wild, and he can be crazy, and he can be unpredictable. So he's definitely the wild card out of that whole team. No offense to Aki or anyone like that, because he's been dubbed the wild card. So, but yeah, Billy is the wild card for this match. But the other team are more calm and more calculated. Samus and Rouge like to plan ahead. They think it's a game of chess, which may work out, in some cases, but maybe not this one. I think the Retro Warriors and Billy are going to be a bit more wild than the other team, so they may not get a chance to be that strategic. But we'll have to see. Sonya is a clever one too. I mean, she's no pushover. When she knows how to get you down, she'll keep you down. But I definitely think the Retro Warriors and Billy are going to walk away with the victory in this one. That's my 2 cents on that. We've been talking about this one for a long time. Yeah, we have. I think this is the longest time we've been talking about this particular match. But hey, it all needs to be said, and it has been said. So it's definitely the Retro Warriors and Billy for the win. Definitely. I'm going with them. No doubt about it. No disrespect to the other team, but I think they definitely have we'll have to see what Sonya is going to do with Billy if she does get her hands on him. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to look forward to in this match, that's for sure. And I'm sure a lot of other people will say the same. So we'll have to wait and see. So shall we move on to the next match? Let's do it. We've got another 4. We've got another 3, haven't we? Yep, another 3. So coming up next is the Hardcore Championship match. Fatal 4-way rules. First fall to a finish. This will not be elimination like the Women's Championship match. But still, we've got a lot of combustible elements in this match, to say the very least. So let's take a look at how this match came about, and then we can go into the analysis, as always. Go for it. Alright, so Grim had the title for a very long time. And he kept a hold of it no matter what the anti-heroes tried to do. So they made this new rule of being 24/7, and that was actually during our one night only events last year. They were so badly wanted the hardcore title that they wanted it technically in a bonus event. And that's exactly what happened. And Nightmare was the one to win the title, I believe. So the 24/7 rule, but they didn't stop it after that, and it resulted in a lot of the times the title changing hands. I think we've definitely dubbed the hardcore title as a hot potato right now, because it's been all pretty much unscheduled matchups, and most of them, oddly enough, have taken place on the staging area during another match, and some people have managed to get away and keep the title, or some people have fallen short and lost the title just there and then. So it's been a bit wild, all in all, with this championship. But Cyrus has come back, and he wants to put his foot down. Seeing as this ruling was made by the anti-heroes, he wants to make sure that he's back in control, and so he has said that after Mascot Mania, after the Hardcore Championship match at the event, that the 24/7 ruling will be no more. So that's that. I think after Nightmare won the Hardcore title, we know we had the situation. I think the big story here, let's address the elephant in the room, is between Nightmare and Link. They've had this rivalry because pretty much Nightmare cost Link and the Freedom Movement at the time a shot at the YouTube Championship. In that ladder match at Mascot Mania, Nightmare was the one to, shall we say, pull the trigger, and it was Link was the victim, and resulted in obviously Tails retaining the YouTube title at the Rumble. So there's been an issue between those two. After Nightmare won the Hardcore title, it's Link who pretty much injected himself into this, but that's because of Nightmare's actions. And then Link has also, all of the participants have won the Hardcore title between Mascot Rumble and now. But it's like I said, it's just been changing hands so many times. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. I mean, I think the Cyrus Robot had a match with Astros on Smashdown, and then suddenly Link comes out and wins the title off of him. I forget if it was him or Grimm. But everyone on this match has a grudge. Pretty much. Nightmare and the Cyrus Robot have been teaming up, but they kind of have that who's the bigger guy kind of match. Persona about them when it comes to the anti-heroes. So they've been trying to proclaim their dominance over each other. Link and Grimm not so much, even though we have seen them attack each other. I just think that Link is in that mindset where he should be the champion, so he wants a belt of some kind. So even if it's on the same side as him, because they're both Freedom Movement members, he should be the one with the Hardcore title. So I believe that was the motivation between Link attacking Grimm for the title. And obviously Link and Nightmare are at each other's necks. Grimm and the Cyrus Robot are kind of in a bit of a rivalry almost, because Cyrus Robot's been breathing down Grimm's neck for that Hardcore title. And that's because of Cyrus as well, in a way. Cyrus is going to put an end to the 24/7 rule after this match, so whoever does win is going to be definitely Hardcore Champion indefinitely until we have another Hardcore Championship match, not at any other unscheduled time. So with that being said, would you like to break down some factors here? Okay, this is going to be one of those ones which is going to be really difficult to call, really difficult to predict, and really hard to follow, if anything, because it's going to be a fatal four-way, and as you pointed out, everyone's going to be against themselves. It's definitely going to be a fatal four-way, to say to the very least. I think it's going to be every person for themselves, regardless of who's on what team. But obviously, it would be good for either side to get the championship. The anti-heroes want to get the championship back, and the Freedom Movement obviously still trying to clutch to it because they are in current possession of it. And I'm sure they would love to have a clean sweep of the night, winning the tag team, the Hardcore, and the YouTube title all in one night. So obviously, maybe the more motivation will be with Grimm and Link, but as equally, it could be with the Cyrus Robot and Nightmare, because they want to obviously ruin the plans of the Freedom Movement for Mascot Mania. So, everyone is pretty much even Steven on this match. I think Link may be gunning more for Nightmare. I mean, remember, you don't have to pin the champion in this environment. It's going to be whoever gets the pinfall gets the title. That's the uniqueness of this Fatal 4-Way. Even if it's for hardcore rules, you don't have to pin the champion. So, it's going to be wild. It's going to be one of those wild ones. I think this is going to be one of the most wild hardcore championship matches we've ever seen. There's so many personal rivalries and vendettas involved in this one, entangled in it, and there's just so much riding on this hardcore championship match, which is a rarity. Usually hardcore championship is not considered a major championship, but once it's actually got the kind of presence about it. And like they said, all these four have been gunning for it and want to walk out as the champion without chances of it being taken away from them unexpectedly. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, that's what's been happening to them since the Mascot Rumble. So that's exactly what they want. They want to walk away with the hardcore title, and they want to walk away with it and know that they're not going to get screwed over with it at any particular time in an unscheduled environment. It's going to be all even. I think that's all I need to say for that one, because it's going to be one of those very unpredictable matchups to predict what's going to happen. Though I really do think Link is going to gun for Nightmare more so, because of that hatred between them for the whole YouTube title match thing. So yeah, but otherwise, as of you want me to give a winner, don't you? But can we find out what Worms has said first? Of course. So he predicts here that Grim is going to get a victory. Well, he is the champion. He'll be walking in as the champion, so he'll have his head held high the most, and he'll certainly want to retain and make an impact. You know, I walked into Mascot Mania as the champion defending, and I can walk out of here as the champion still. So therefore I can claim that I was unbeaten at all, and I'm continuing to keep the hardcore title away from the anti-heroes. You know, so that puts me up there. You know, and he's performing with some very high level class. I mean, Link and Nightmare are practically main event level, and the Cyrus Robot has been in the main event before, but Grim has never been in the main event, technically speaking. I mean, it's been some time since he has. I mean, the last one I think he was ever in was in Judgment Day, so that was ages ago. So he's in there with some people who are game players, and he would love probably to walk out as hardcore champion. So yes, I'm gonna claim Grim as well to win this match. Definitely, he may have that edge. I mean, the other three may be doubting his ability, so they may underestimate him, and that could cost him. So yeah, I think Grim could win. I mean, anyone could win, but Grim has the chance, shall we say, the biggest chance. It's not a huge percentage, but he has the chance to pull it off. So yeah, let's go with Grim. Alright then, so is that match? That is that match. Okay then, moving on. We're going to move on now to the two biggest matches, probably, for the Smashdown front. This first one is going to be for the Tag Team Championships, and it will be contested in a steel cage. And it's going to be Dimension X defending the tag team titles against the new Simpson Clan Homer and Bart, who is a former YouTube and world champion. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out straight away. But you've got some more things to talk about before I go into that. Yes. So the tag team gold rush is made. Whoever wins the tournament gets a shot at the tag team titles. Dimension X said that they want to find the best tag team to compete at Mascot Mania, and I think that's pretty much exactly what they've got here, to say the very least. We were skeptical at first because of the whole issue with Bart. We were wondering if he was going to come back because of the issues with the Masked Man and everything and everything before that. Because I think Bart's certainly been rejected, or felt he's been rejected by the company, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, I don't want Bart to go. I mean, I told him, you know, to come back and make sure you do the right thing when you do, and you'll be respected for it, and you won't be looked so down upon. And lo and behold, he took my words, and he came back, and he helped. It was a tag team match scheduled, but Homer was in this gold rush by himself. He didn't have a partner at the time. But Bart returned, and lo and behold, he came back and helped Homer win the match. And father and son reunite and form the new Simpson clan. And of course, they continue on until the final, and then they get the big victory. And then Cyrus comes out and says that whoever won the tournament got to pick also a stipulation for the match. And Cyrus suggested, or pretty much claimed, that you know, because he's on the fence with the anti-heroes and the freedom movement, that's for sure at the moment. So he wanted to help out the new Simpson clan and said, Bart, we're going to stick you in your second home, your iconic match that you've made famous in the ASF. We're going to put you in a steel cage, and that's how it all got made. And like I said before, Bart is a former world and YouTube champion, winning both of those titles, ironically, in a steel cage match. So, or at least being with a steel cage match in it. So it certainly benefited him in the past. He did lose the YouTube title in a steel cage, but that was because of, shall we say, unfair means. I'm sure he would have retained it otherwise. But it's definitely Bart's second home. It's definitely this is his kind of matchup, his kind of environment. He's used to this. He's been in 3 other steel cage matches prior to this on the ASF on YouTube. That's for sure. So he's well prepared, and Dimension X have never had a steel cage match before. I've never been in one, apart from Marzel, obviously, who was in a cage match with Homer on Smashdown quite recently. But Homer was the one to pick up the victory there, so I got a feeling that it may not be just Bart's second home, but the Simpsons in general, their second home is in a steel cage. Just stick the couch in there, and we can be away. Now, okay, jokes aside, yeah, the steel cage is definitely looking good for both Homer and Bart when it comes to being victorious in this match. But what views do you have? What views do I have? Let's see. Dimension X are gonna lose. No, I'm not gonna say that. Dimension X have always risen to the occasion. I'm not going to doubt their ability in this one. I believe this is actually going to be a very even match despite Bart's credentials. And Homer's certainly been a force to reckon with. He's a multi-time tag team champion, and that was with his daughter, so he's definitely got it in him to win it with his family. And there's no difference that, and now he's teaming with Bart. No disrespect for Lisa, but Bart's been much more of a better performer. Because he's obviously just won more. I mean, ironically enough, both of them have been former YouTube champions. But hey, anything goes in the ASF, right? Anything can happen and anything can go. That's been one of those things. So yes, the siblings have been former YouTube champions. Ironically enough, they've shed that privilege. So yeah. So Homer and Bart are definitely looking good for this match. But like you said, let's not take it away from Dimension X. Yeah, because we've always said that, oh no, how Dimension X going to retain? They're up against the odds, oh dear. But it's always been a case of, they walked into a tag team turmoil match at No Way Out. They were the first team to enter, and they had to go through 3 other teams, and they did. And they retained. And they've also taken out people like Astroth. I mean, they made Astroth tap out. I mean, that's a victory in my book. They've also put him on the shelf. They've been rather impressive as a tag team, so they can get the job done. So who knows if they can rise to the occasion. Marzel has some cage experience now from battling it with Homer, as you pointed out on Smashdown, but and he may learn from that, and he may be telling Void a few tricks. They always claim that they're one, that they are a unit. So if that's the case, then we'll find out and see if that experience that Marzel got in the steel cage that he did passes over to Void, or if it's just a little hocus pocus dribble drabble. Not that I'm doubting the tag team champion's ability, but the odds are definitely in favor for Homer and Bart here. I'd love to see who Williams has picked for a winner. He has picked the Simpson clan. Okay then. I'm going to go with him on this one. I think Bart and Homer, we're going to have new tag team champions. I really do think so. I mean, there's just so much going for them in this match, and they deserve it at the end of the day. This is going to be a complete whitewash for the Freedom Movement. They're going to, I predict the Groom's going to retain the Hardcore title, and you may know now what I'm going to pick for the main event, but we'll see. But I think, everyone's gunning for the Freedom Movement at this event, and I'm no exception. Not that it's a biased opinion, but I'm just looking at the facts, as always. I'm looking at the potential. So, yes, I'm looking for the realistic approach here. Let's not have any bull. But, anything can happen in the ASF, but I'm certain I'm definitely behind Bart and Homer winning the tag team titles. This could be the answer to defeating Dimension X. They've held the tag team titles. Ironically enough, they won the tag team titles off of Homer, and that was in a ladder match, and that was at No Mercy. That was all the way back at No Mercy. That's how long they've had those titles for. But I believe their reign is definitely, it's numbered, and their number may be up at Mascot Mania. But who knows what the night will bring. Like I said, everyone's going to be bringing their A game at this event. It's the biggest the ASF event in history. I'm getting my words screwed up now. It's catching. So yeah, I really do think they got this one. Just I really do. All right then. So shall we move on from that now? I think we've got everything covered. Yeah, Dimension X, I'm not doubting their ability. They may rise to the occasion. It's going to be a very unpredictable match either way, because Dimension X know how to bring it. They know how to retain their championships is the important thing, and that's what it's about. But who knows? Just keep the suspense going. All right then. So we'll move on to we got one more match to cover, Eggman. Oh yes, let's go for it. Big time show, baby. Alright then, so the next match coming up is the main event of main events, as it's been called, but there is so much riding on this very match. It is going to be Manic, and it is going to be Tails, the leaders of both the Freedom Movement and the Anti-Heroes, going toe-to-toe, no outside interference, in a 3 Stages of Hell match to decide the fate of the YouTube title, their factions, and their careers. It's all on the line on this match. Winner takes all, pretty much. So let's take a look at the match factors for this big anticipated matchup, which is sure to steal the show. It's sure to be epic. I can't wait for these two to get it on, but let's talk about it first. So Manic comes up just a little bit short at the Rumble. I mean, he was poised and ready to win it. It got down to the last man standing match with him and Metal Sonic, and though Manic did an odd maneuver, the referee was about to count 10 for Metal Sonic, but Manic, just out of the blue, suddenly just he gave a kick to Metal Sonic, and it's a kick that probably Manic will never forget, and neither will Metal Sonic, because in a way it was a sign of respect, saying that, you know, you've got your big match that you need, even though you've got the Money in the Bank. You know, Manic just, his good side came out, and he stopped Metal Sonic from losing that match. In the end, it was Metal Sonic to pick up the victory, obviously, but they gained a bit of respect out of each other for that. And lo and behold, on Smashdown, the following one, Manic comes out, admits that he's screwed everything up because he's got too much respect, and then Metal Sonic comes out of the blue and says, "You've earned my respect, and we need to win this war against the anti-heroes. Here is the Money in the Bank briefcase. Don't let me down." And of course, Manic then claimed that he was going to have the championship match, and it was going to take place at Mania. He also made the match 3 Stages of Hell, and that they would have 3 matches to decide who was going to get the choice. You know, Manic is still playing the fair game, you know, and people have been saying that may be his downfall. I've been saying that might be his downfall. You've been saying that might be his downfall. Manic is just too full of generosity. And with that being said, Tails, the anti-heroes, won the first 2 falls, at which Tails, the first fall has been made a submission match, which obviously is not going to fare well with Manic. And the second one has been made into a ladder match, which of course Tails has had some positively good luck with, but maybe not now though. Maybe the tides have turned. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, the Osiris made the stipulation. Manic made the stipulation that if Tails and the freedom movement failed, and the Tails and the Anti-Heroes, if they came up short in that match, then the faction would disband. But then Cyrus came out and made it more even and said, whoever loses that match, their faction and their career will be lost. They will lose it. So they're putting all their marbles, shall we say, on the line. But Manic has had a change of persona almost as a result, and we saw a different side of Manic that I haven't seen for quite some time. And the niceness kind of emptied out of him, and he just became technically a monster and started rampaging. He was in that huge gauntlet match with an unknown amount of opponents, but he rampaged through all of them, and went a bit haywire, started swinging weapons and left, right, and center. Obviously, he got the last fall decision, which was in a handicap match of all things. And Manic got victorious over that and said that the last fall is going to be a no-holds-barred Falls Count Anywhere match with weapons encouraged. And that will be the final fall. Almost a souped-up hardcore match, you could say. But that's only if he gets there. It is only if he gets there, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But certainly a different side I saw in Manic. And indeed you did too, as well as everyone else. With Manic pretty much dismantled. I believe it was Nightmare who came out, and Manic just went absolutely bonkers. He went nuts. And it was a scary thing to see, but it may be the winning factor, because now I'd like to talk about, the fact that maybe Tails has got the advantage for the first two matches, but maybe he actually doesn't. Yeah, because Tails was confident that Manic is not the submission expert that he is. That's for sure. They've had a submission match in the past, ironically, to start this whole thing off back at No Mercy. They had a submission match. Tails was victorious in that one and actually broke the leg of Manic, and he had to have that knee brace on for some time. And it was a constant reminder of what Tails did to him, and and what he's capable of, and their relationship together. And it was a symbol almost. Manic's leg has obviously healed since that, but I would guarantee that Manic would not like another broken leg, which Tails is definitely capable of, no doubt about it. But Manic has said that he's been training with someone that they know, and many people are guessing it's actually been Lisa. Because Manic has been starting to use that bow and arrow lock submission hold that Lisa has made famous and is one of her finishing maneuvers. So Manic has been utilizing that technique. So maybe the submission match is all even Stevens now. We have the ankle lock versus the bow and arrow lock. And who knows what else Manic is going to pull off, because he's guaranteed to put Tails through all kinds of hell. Be it if it's only just the two falls or all three. He's gonna make Tails. He says he's gonna, I quote, he's gonna put him through hell, through more hell than they've put them through. And with this new persona that Manic has come under, I'm starting to believe that. So yeah. Also, the ladder match you got to take into consideration. Tails made that stipulation for the second fall because, like you said, he's had a lot of luck with that kind of match. But things are starting to look bad now because of the no interference, which means Nightmare can't come in and do his little "I'm going to push you off the ladder" act, because he will get fired as a result. So he can't do that, and no one else can either. That's anyone in the freedom movement or the anti-heroes, or if you're on Raw, you can't come into the match. There's going to be completely no outside interference. It's going to be one-on-one throughout the whole thing. So Tails may be having second doubts now about this ladder match, because that's how he's been acquiring victories, by getting his ass beat, and then suddenly the other person climbs the ladder. Lo and behold, someone comes out, pushes them off the ladder, and then Tails wins. So maybe the first two falls are not in Tails' favor. And certainly, without a doubt, even if Tails does get a victory, in one of those matches, the hardcore, the souped up hardcore, the no holds barred, falls count anywhere, weapons encouraged match is going to be in Manic's favor. He's the Street Fighter. Down deep down inside, he's a Street Fighter. He knows how to use weapons. He knows how to hurt you with weapons. He knows, he can do a lot of vicious things with you when it comes to, just being outside of the ring. And that's definitely Manic's area of expertise. So that is going to be, quite which is why I'm actually going to say this now, that Manic is going to win this match. I just think that Tails has tried to throw him off, and Manic has said, no, I found a counter for you because I've had enough of your shit, and you're going to go down in hell, and I'm going to take you there personally, and even if I go down, you're coming with me. So either way, Manic is going to be pulling off everything that he can to win this match, and not only that, but to make Tails suffer. And Tails may not be able to fight back, and all of the matches now technically are in Manic's favor, in a sense. Maybe the submission match not so much, and maybe the ladder match not so much, but they're certainly more even than what they were before. Now that Manic has a submission maneuver to pull off, and also because there's no outside interference for the ladder match now. So everything is evened up. So it's definitely looking good for Manic. And the final fall is going to be definitely in his alley. So with that being said, I'm going to predict Manic, and I hope Worms does too. Let's have a look. Yep, he does. Manic to win the YouTube Championship. That means Tails is going to get fired. But we're making this match. Are we making this match a bit too one-sided on that front? I mean, are we doubting Tails' ability here? I think Tails has been a cheating champion for a long time, and there's no way he can cheat his way out of this one. The submission match, maybe he doesn't need to cheat in it. He certainly has the credentials to get that, but like I said, he's still got to go through another match after that, and then, Manic could get the advantage. But Tails may be right with his decision. I mean, his original motive for making this series of matches was, I'm going to break your leg, and then you're not going to be able to climb up the ladder. So that could happen. If Tails gets the first fall, we could see a retain. But that's only in this first fall. If Tails, the clever thing for Manic to do would be that the first sign of trouble with his leg is to tap out. I mean, you got to hold. You got to realize that you can't go in there and on the first match and try and be strong and tough. And if Tails gets to that point where he's injured your leg that you can't continue, you got to continue. If you do lose, to another 2 matches to pull off a victory. So I believe, Manic, if you're listening to this, I would tap out the minute you start getting trouble with that leg. Just the minute. I would start the minute I feel I had an issue with my leg. I'd certainly be tapping out of just the fact that I may not be able to last for the next 2 matches if I do continue to go on. So that could be the best strategy to do for Manic there. So if he does that, but yeah, Tails still has a chance, but I believe Manic's chance is that much more bigger. Although, as I keep saying, anything can happen in the ASF, so I'm sure Tails will be pulling out all the stops in this one, but it may not be enough. Alright then, so is that everything then? I believe it is. Are we at the end now? I believe we are. By all means, folks, do leave your predictions even now, because we can talk about them, and it'd be nice to know who people are actually pulling for at this event, without a doubt. Also, I'd like to talk about the pre-show, which will be happening a day before Mascot Mania. We've got some matches lined up for that. I'll talk about that in a moment, but we've done every single match here now. We've covered it, and thank you for those that did participate or whatever. We'll obviously in 2 weeks' time we've got Ask the Roster now. I've got a nice chunk of questions. and I'll be sorting those out for a couple of weeks' time, and they'll be answered. And then at some time in December, we'll be doing Mascot Mania, the big one. Oh yes, it's coming, baby. So yeah, that is gonna call it a day here, I believe. So it definitely seems like we're going to get a victory all in all from the freedom movement. And we'll just have to wait and see, but it's certainly a very anticipated event, and I still can't believe that I'm at this moment right now on the brink of completing Mascot Mania and bringing it to you guys. It's definitely going to be a heck of an event, and I hope everyone that is an ASF fan tunes in, past, present, future, whatever, that you come join and be a part of the history, shall we say. It's definitely not going to be one to miss. You're an idiot if you miss it. Yeah, to say the least. So we'll see you, or I will see you, Ask the Roster soon, in about a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, I'll be doing that then. And then me and Eggman will be back for the pre-show and for Mascot Mania in December. So don't miss it. And we will see you, and I will see you at Ask the Roster. He'll see you at the Mascot Mania event, and he's looking forward to it. You are? Oh yes, of course I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a great night and a great show, and I know I keep chewing this out, but it's amazing to be here at this moment in time, and we're going to pull out all the stops for you guys and make this a heck of a show, and you're going to love every single moment of it. It's going to be wild, it's going to be unpredictable, and it's got ASF written all over it. Anything can happen, and it will, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to do our all for it. So, yeah. So thank you for everyone for watching and listening and doing whatever it is you do when it comes to this show. Thank you for being a part of it, no matter where you entered, no matter how many events you've watched, no matter what. Just thank you. And we'll see you at Mascot Mania. He'll see you at Ask the Roster. And yes, it's going to be great. Enough said. I'll be quiet now. Good. No, but seriously, yes, thank you everyone so much, and we will see you. I'm going to say goodbye now, so I'll say goodbye now. Goodbye everyone, and he'll say goodbye. Goodbye, and thank you. Alright, goodbye, and good night.